Adventures of Ellen White and the Pioneers. Ellen changes her name.
Ellen had not become strong again since she had the accident when she was 9 years old. She was weak and very often sick. She could not run or take long walks or lift anything that was heavy. But when she was in vision, she could do things that even a strong man could not do. The Bible tells of many ways whereby we can test a true prophet. Daniel 10, verse 17 says that when a prophet is in vision, he has no strength and no breath. Then in verse 19, which is the middle part, it says that the angel gave special strength to the prophet. In Numbers 24, verse 4, it says that a prophet may have his eyes open. And in Matthew 7, verses 15 to 20, it says that a prophet is known by his fruit, which means the kind of life and example he lives. Many times at the beginning of a vision, Ellen was very weak, but suddenly she would become strong as the angel of God gave her new strength to do unusual things over a long period of time. People who saw Ellen in vision said that she was very happy and that she usually said, "Glory, glory, glory," 3 times, each time getting softer as if she were going far away from them. Ellen had many visions when she was all alone, but God gave her other visions when she was with people in meetings so that they could see for themselves just how she acted when she was in vision. One day when Ellen was meeting with a group of people in a house, she was given a vision. In the room where she was having the vision lay a large family Bible. No one was using it because it was too heavy. It weighed more than 18 pounds, which is about 8 kilograms. Suddenly, Ellen walked over and picked up the big Bible. She opened it and then held it straight out on her left hand. And without even looking, she pointed to different verses as she read those verses out loud. "Let's see if she's quoting them correctly," one man suggested. And he looked where she was pointing and listened as she quoted those verses. And in surprise he exclaimed, "Ellen is turning the pages of the Bible and pointing to the very texts that she is quoting. Without looking at them, she's repeating every one of them correctly." Other people looked also and said, "This is wonderful. She's not seeing those scriptures with her natural eyes. They are being shown to her in vision." Ellen held this big, heavy Bible with her left hand for over half an hour. Have you ever tried to hold up a full bottle of water with your arm outstretched? It's difficult to do that even for a few minutes, and Ellen's Bible was much heavier than that. All the people could see that it was a real miracle from God. Ellen's mother said that when she was not in vision, Ellen could not even lift that big Bible because she was too weak. But the angel strengthened her, just as we read in Daniel 10, verse 18. Then again, the one having the likeness of a man touched me and strengthened me. This same big Bible that Ellen held is now kept at the General Conference in Washington, D.C., and many big strong men have tried to hold the Bible with their left hand held straight out the way Ellen did, but most of them can only hold it for 1 or 2 minutes. Ellen only weighed about 70 pounds at this time, which is about 31 kilograms. And God used this miracle to encourage the people to believe that Ellen had really been chosen to be God's prophet for these last days. One day, Ellen's friends, the Jordans, asked her if she'd like to go with them to Orrington, a town about 150 miles away, which is about 241 kilometers. We are returning a borrowed horse and a sleigh to a young Adventist minister named James White. He's having trouble with some religious fanatics, and if you come with us, you might be able to help them." Ellen did not know if she should go or not. She did not feel comfortable to deliver her message in a group of loud and uncontrolled people, but she promised the Lord that she would go wherever He wanted her to go. After praying earnestly, she felt impressed that if she should go, God would send an angel to protect her and show her what to do. After travelling almost 2 days in the cold weather, they finally arrived in Orrington late one afternoon. Ellen was so tired and weary from the long, hard journey that she paid little attention when she was introduced to a young preacher that night named James White. The very next day, the Jordans and Ellen were invited to go with James White to visit some people. Ellen was asked to tell them about her visions. Some of the people began jumping up and down and clapping their hands and shouting loud. Ellen was so shocked at their behavior that she stopped her story. James White opened his Bible and read to them that God is a God of order, not confusion, and that the Holy Spirit speaks to hearts by a still, small voice. The noise quietened down, and after a while Ellen continued telling her story. The little group of 4 visited from home to home day after day, giving God's messages. In many places they found the believers being troubled by some noisy religionists. Finally, the last meeting was held, and the troublemakers had been subdued, and there was peace. The people were happy now, and they thanked Ellen and the Jordans for coming so far to help them and the young preacher to bring order and unity into their meetings. Ellen returned to her home, but James White could not help feeling sorry for her. She was so young and frail. Ellen and James White often saw each other during the next 1.5 years as they travelled and attended the Adventist meetings held in different places. So it did not seem strange that one day Elder White asked Ellen to be his wife. Elder White thought that Ellen needed someone to take care of her and protect her, and he would be glad to work together with her for the Lord and to share her trials and dangers because he loved her very much. He felt that they could accomplish more for the Lord together than they could working separately. Ellen admired this handsome young man who was such an earnest Christian, but she wanted to be sure that it was God's will before she agreed to marry him. And so she said, "I will pray that the Lord will make his will known to us." And as Ellen prayed, she felt more and more convinced that God did want them to work together. God did not give Ellen the answer in vision, but the Holy Spirit spoke quietly to her heart, and she felt convinced that James White was the one that God wanted her to marry. James and Ellen were probably too poor to have a big church wedding because there's no record of any printed invitations or bridesmaids or even a honeymoon. Their main purpose in life was to use their time and money to spread the good news of Jesus' soon coming. Ellen was happy because she loved James, and James was happy because he loved Ellen, and they both loved God. A great work was just beginning for this consecrated young couple. Come and join us next time to hear about a doubting Thomas.